Coming from a bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays all it is to be see-through. I always said this is that I'm staying around people. Finding my own path like I'm writing my own sequel. Two-faced people all around, they be equal. 2021, you can never trust nobody. Good and bad thoughts on my mind, they be crowded. Pushing to get past his limits, then he see he bought it. Family work hard, but I never guess I'm found it. Came a long way in my dream, now I be drowning. Day dying, I got some hearts pounded. Multi-talented, my passion, I haven't found it. Yeah, in my home, I was never ever doubted. Coming from a bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays, all it makes to be see-through. I always said this is that I'm staying around people.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Coming from a bad place. Oh yeah, trying to be the. Let me not embarrass myself. But yeah, what's a song. Right, welcome everyone to GFC Garvan YouTube channel. Now, obviously, you know that I am not GFC Garvan, but as we're all friends and we're all families and brothers, we will help each other in the time that is necessary. So, I am just holding down the fort for Garvan, for this show. And as you guys can see, thank you to the two persons that are watching so far. Appreciate both of you guys coming in to support GFC Garvan, and it truly shows how much of a impact Garvan has made to the community as well. And we look into in the chat before I go into the things that I have in mind. No. Oh my days. All right, Rosie. Smash the like button, yeah, and sub on the way in, yeah, for sure, Rosie. Appreciate you. Appreciate what you do for the community as a whole. So I appreciate you being here to support the channel as well. And obviously Jersey saying Miss Rosie, hello. And then legendary Tyrone, yes. And then Garvard, you've gotten way younger. What's your secret? Oh my days. Much love, Rosie, much love. But yes, as you guys see in the title, this is our Premier League roundup, weekly roundup show. This is one of the additional Premier League news shows that Garvan has been integrating into the channel, and he has given me the opportunity to, present this show to you, these items to you on his behalf. Now, there was a lot of shockers, Premier League shockers occurred in these set of fixtures during the Boxing Day and also Friday, the 27th of December, Arsenal versus Ipswich, Brighton versus Brentford. We'll go through all of that. We'll discuss all of that as well. As I said before, this is Premier League weekly roundup. There was upsets, there was drama, and there were goals that were impressive during the set of fixtures between Thursday, the 26th of December, Boxing Day, and also the 27th of being the Friday, which would be today for those who are watching right now. Now, right. So let me go straight into looking at the fixtures before I go into the items that I have lined up for the news aspect of this show. So let me just share this window here. All right, let me know if you guys are able to see what I'm trying to share as well. But let's go through these set of items here. Right, let's start with the 26th of December, Thursday. Let's look at the fixtures the results rather of this match in particular. Let me try to see if I can find the information that's necessary. Right. So these were the lineups and the formation that was utilized by both Man City and also Everton. Right. So we do know that the result at the end of it was a 1-1 draw between Man City and Everton. Now, obviously, we know that Bernardo Silva gave Man City fans and Man City in general the belief that they would be getting a result after having a positive start in the first 15 minutes of that game. Obviously, Bernardo Silva opened the scoring. As I said, Jeremy Doku got getting the assist 40 minutes. Iliman Ndia, I hope I didn't butcher the last name, but Iliman Ndia for Everton got the equalizing goal in the 36th minute. It was a lackluster remainder of the game. There was opportunities for both teams. However, Everton proving, that they are a low block team that under Shine Daesh have been able to sit deep and defend for a point or get a result. So fair play to Everton in that match. They managed to get back a goal against Manchester City, who have had a challenge in recent times. They want to get wins. So their struggle in form continued against Everton, who came with the aim of causing an upset and also getting as much points or getting a point where it was possible. And they did a fair job at doing that. Obviously, you can see based on the timeline throughout the rest of the match that there was yellow cards, and obviously the substitutions were, if I can be more specific as to the substitutions that happened in that game. A defender, centre back that has been utilized as a fullback under Pep in recent time. He came off in the 85th minute. Mateo Kovacic also came off in the midfield, and Jeremy Doku in the attack also came off in the 75th minute. And obviously, we know that we saw Jamie Simpson coming on to replace Ake. Kevin De Bruyne came on to replace Mateo Kovacic. Ilkay Gundogan as well came on as well. So, as I said before, this was the result for the first match of the Boxing Day fixtures that would have occurred. Let me move on to the next match that would have occurred. Let me see if I can do that quickly. Right. All right. But let me see what you guys are saying. Right. Right. So. Right. So there's just conversations amongst the audience. Don't really think I should mention that. So let's move on to the next fixture. I want to encourage you guys to just drop a like and help Garvan's channel to grow even further. He's been a very good individual, in terms of the community and what he has been doing on his channel. So let's continue to help in that growth on the channel, and let's push for him to get to 3,000. He more than deserves it. He deserves 10,000 subscribers already, but we know that anything worth it always comes with having to wait. So let me move on to the next fixture here, and it's Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace, and a very stalemate match. It was a goalless match. No goals were scored. Bournemouth obviously ended up getting a point. Crystal Palace also getting a point. Both teams, as they are both in a situation where they're trying to ensure that they don't get relegated. Bournemouth are in a better position than Crystal Palace. Or Crystal Palace have been having challenges. They've been in the relegation zone and around it for some time. They've had issues in terms of sustaining the performance that they had last season, and they're having a real challenge at the moment. So this was a goalless draw, so we can probably move on to the next set of fixture results. Bear with me. All right. So there's nothing really in the chat really address. So let me move on to the next fixture. But how are you guys doing, by the way? Let me ensure that I do some housekeeping work. Because Garvan always ensures that he checks in on the community and the audience that give him support. So how are you guys doing? Let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know how you guys are doing. Are you guys for the holidays, for those persons who celebrate the holiday period in a festive way? How was your, well, that's the day, if you support Hanukkah, if you celebrate Christmas or whatever the case may be, section of the week. So, how you guys doing? In the meantime, let me bring up the next fixture, and this. Right, so Chelsea versus Fulham is the next fixture. This was one of the shockers that occurred for Chelsea fans. Uh, Chelsea obviously opening the scoring in the 16 minutes through Cole Palmer. It was a back and forth game for most of that game. However, Fulham obviously looked as if they were going to get a goal, and so it did. Harry Wilson scoring the 82nd minute for them. Timothy Castagne got the assist for that goal as well. And, at this time, Chelsea fans and also Chelsea were hoping that they'll be able to at least get a draw, try to get goals. They pushed for it. However, it will be Fulham that would get that all-important goal, and they got it in the 90th minute or the 19th minute and 5th minute of added time, and that came from Rodrigo Muniz. Sasa Lukic got the assist for that goal, and that was all 3 points taken from Chelsea after they had a bright start in that first half. Obviously, Chelsea fans would be disappointed, been puzzled as to what would have led to such a poor performance from certain players. And because of this match, it also gave teams like Arsenal, who we'll get to in terms of fixtures that would have happened not long ago previously, this evening or night for those who are in the UK based time zone. Tonight they would have actually gotten a result that benefits them, but we'll get to that as we proceed through the remaining fixtures as well. But as I said, Chelsea fans were disappointed, they were shocked, and also seeing that Fulham are a team that obviously came with a lot of aggression. They pressed very difficultly at Chelsea, and the players were not able to handle the pressure, and there was a poor performance by a lot of those players, as Maresca also stated, which we'll get to in terms of the news, that players such as Renato Vega and Noni Madueke were, well, I don't want to say evicted, but they were omitted from the selected squad to face off against Fulham due to technical decisions. Now, maybe see what happens for those two players in terms of going forward. However, there are reports saying that Madueke's situation may resolve itself, as he has remained very calm and has not complained behind the scenes at the decision taken by the head coach Enzo Maresca. Right. Now, Jerry Z is saying that it was just a bad day at the office for Chelsea. I think that that's a solid point to raise as well. Right. So we can move on from this fixture, but as I said before, it was a shocker for Chelsea fans and for Chelsea players. But as Maresca said, it epitomized the fact that they are not necessarily in the title race, as the media has been trying to postulate. But we move to the next fixture result. So bear with me as I switch to that window right now. As I said before, guys, let me know what you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys think about the results that we've discussed so far. And let me know how you guys are feeling about the closing period of 2024 in terms of the Premier League fixtures. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know your feeling about that as well. Let me move on to the next fixture here, which is Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Newcastle found a lot of joy in this match. They started off their match successfully. They got a goal through Anthony Gordon in the second minute, approximately, I don't want to get my maths wrong, around 93 minutes in to the game. They were able to get a goal through Anthony Gordon. Joe Linton got the assist, who he's been given a new life under Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe moved him from the attacking area more so and moved him into the midfield, and it has transformed Jolinton's game significantly. And as you go down and you look, you realize that he also got the sealing goal in the first minute of added time of the second half to confirm the points for Newcastle. Aston Villa continued to have the challenges, their struggles, and it came as a strange result, as we would have seen that Manchester City suffered a very tight and close defeat to Aston Villa in the previous fixture days prior. However, Aston Villa find themselves in a situation where they started off so well, and there's no struggling to remain in the top four conversation as they find ways to manage their matches, as they will face off against Arsenal in the cup competitions that will be coming up as well. So Newcastle got a 3-0 win, and 3 goals were scored by them. Alexander Isak scored in between the goals of Anthony Gordon and Joe Linton in the 59th minute, therefore the second half. And Jacob Murphy gets the assist as well. Now, a vital aspect you mentioned is the fact that in the 32nd minute of that game, John Duran was sent off for a tackle that was deemed as being violent. And, it's been one that has spurred a lot of controversy. A lot of people are saying, was it actually a red card? I don't know what you guys think, but would you say that the red card that John Duran received was fair, or do you think that it was merely harsh by Anthony Taylor? Let me know what you guys think about that. But in the meantime, let me move on to the next fixture that's happened on Boxing Day. And it was a very close, but also a great win for Nottingham Forest, as they came out 1-0 victors against Spurs, who continue to have their up and down roller coaster level of a season, as they get wins, they get points, get results, and then they drop off in performances in the next game. That has been the pattern for Spurs, as Ange Postecoglou's time at Spurs continues to be one filled with uncertainty, one that has been filled with a lot of criticism from not only the media but also from fans, match-going fans, who would have had a back and forth with him in terms of booing him and all of that, and telling him that they're ashamed of the results and all of that. So Spurs have had a difficult season. They're currently sitting in the mid-table of the Premier League table, and because of that, they are trying to get themselves back up into where they believe they should be, and historically where they may believe they could be doing more of in terms of contending. So this is a result that obviously would have pushed back their hopes of getting back into the higher positions of the table. But this result obviously would have been a setback in that belief and that approach. So Anthony Laga scored that goal for Nottingham Forest, an all-important goal in the 28th minute, with Morgan Gibbs-White getting the assist as well. Now, there was also a red card in this match. I did not watch this match, so I'm going to try to see who got the red card. Okay, Dejan Spence got a red card there, and it was an accumulation of 2 yellow cards. So he was sent off in the 4th minute of added time of that second half, and therefore he is now suspended for Spurs, meaning that they have also lost another defensive option on that fullback area. Now, we'll proceed to the next match, as we've discussed Nottingham Forest, who is now in the top 4, and Spurs, who to try to get some results to get themselves out of the slump that they have found themselves in. Now, let's go down to the next match, which is Southampton versus West Ham. Now, Southampton suffered a very narrow defeat. It wasn't a large one, as they would have suffered against Chelsea, against teams like Tottenham as well. West Ham had to satisfy with only a 1-goal win, but I think they will satisfy with any result, as they somewhat of a inconsistent season as well. Southampton's hope of finding a way out of relegation had a setback once more. As I said before, West Ham got a 1-0 win over them at their stadium, St. Mary's Stadium. Now, West Ham got that goal from Gerard Bowen in the 59th minute. Nicholas Fulkrog, I don't want these people to let me curse, but Nicholas got the assist for West Ham and for Gerard Bowen's goal. And we also will see that based on the situation that Southampton are in, it now means that they are more than likely at risk of getting relegated, and they'll be hoping to try to do better as they proceed. Now, Jersey is saying that Postecoglou out. That is in response to what I said about the Spurs match and the fact that they suffered a defeat at the hands of Nottingham Forest. Now, let's move on to the next fixture result as we try to quickly go through the items that I have in mind to discuss, as there's many drama surrounding the Premier League teams this past week as well. So let me move on to this result. Wolves versus Manchester United. Manchester United will be mentioned quite a number of times as we proceed through this show, this stream. But Wolves got an all-important 3 points for as they find themselves of being at risk of getting relegated. So these 3 points will be vital in their hopes and their attempts to get out of the relegation scrap. Now, both goals for Wolves came in that second half. The first one coming in the 58th minute through Matheus Cunha. The following one would have come a bit late, very late in stoppage time of that second half through Huang Hee-chan. Please forgive me for butchering the player's name. But Matheus Cunha was also involved in this goal as he also picked up the assist. Now, there was a red card for Bruno Fernandes, who got a second yellow card, and Man United's situation became worse as they had to proceed through approximately 52 to 53 minutes without their, well, I want to say talisman, but he's not been their more so their highest goal scorer. But Bruno Fernandes, their captain, was sent off relatively early in that second half. Now, do you think that it was worthy of a red card? Let me know what you guys think about that decision by their referee as well. Now, Jerry's asking, why is Ruben Amorim struggling so much to convey his philosophy? It has been disastrous so far. Now, we will discuss all of that, and I don't want to be opinionated, but I do believe as we will proceed through the news items, we'll see what former Manchester United players, Manchester United coaches had to say about the current situation that Ruben Amorim's Manchester United have found themselves in. So, let's proceed to the next box in there, and we would have Liverpool being able to get a 3-1 comeback win. Now, Leicester City had a bright start to the match after they got a goal through Jordan Ayew in the 6th minute, with Sefi Mavididi getting the assist as well. Now, Liverpool will not be swayed. They will not be disheartened, as before the first half would come to a conclusion, Cody Gakpo would get the goal to equalize them, with Alex McAllister being the creator of that goal. Now, the second half started off brightly for Liverpool as they were able to get their goal to get a 2-1 win through Curtis Jones, with Alex McAllister assist coming once more. Now, they would have to wait some time, 30 minutes and more, get that confirmation of the 3 points as Mo Salah gave them that all-important cushion as Cody Gakpo got the assist for such goal, as we saw that he was involved in 2 goals of the 3 that Liverpool got as they came back to get all 3 points, expanding their lead above Chelsea to 7 points. And as you proceed to the next fixtures that would have occurred moments ago, on the 27th of December, Arsenal find themselves in a situation where they are now second, as Chelsea, due to their defeat to Fulham, fall to 3rd place, 1 point behind Arsenal. So let's proceed to the next fixture result, and let me know what you guys think about the results that you have heard me mention so far, and also this match between Liverpool and Leicester City. Do you think that Leicester City could have done better? Do you think that Leicester City did poorly? Or do you think that it was just down to Liverpool being dominant and continuing to be able to grind out results when other teams may want them to drop? Let me know what you guys think as I proceed to the 2 fixtures that occurred on the 27th of December, Friday. Now, the following result that we will discuss momentarily, as I will check for the any response from the chat before proceeding to this. All right, so nothing to mention there. Let's go back to graded out a goalless draw, another stalemate, as both teams were unable to find the back of the net and had to suffer for honors even and for 1 point apiece. Now, as we look at this, we see that there were minimal cards shown by the referee. And let me see if I can get some statistics here for this match to see how many cards were shown. Okay, the match stats haven't been presented quickly. We will for Brighton, who have had somewhat of an inconsistent season themselves, as well as Brentford, found themselves able to get a point to continue to make themselves secure at the top half of the Premier League table. Now, so let's briefly look at it, then I'll proceed to the 58.2 possession over Brentford's 41.8. They had more shots on target Brighton to Brentford with 7, and Brentford only settled for 3 shots on target. 8 shots by Brentford, and that is 3 times were more from Brighton. They had more passes, obviously, as they had more possession. Tackles, Brentford would have had 1 more than Brighton would have had. Clearances were 14 for Brighton, and Brentford had 33. 5 corners for Brighton and 3 for Brentford. 5 offsides were there for Brentford, 0 for Brighton. 2 yellow cards were handed out to Brentford players. 12 fouls conceded for Brentford and 6 fouls conceded for Brighton. So we proceed to the final match on the 27th of December, and this comes in the form of Arsenal versus Ipswich. Now, Kai Havertz, the former Chelsea player, the former Champions League hero for Chelsea, who moved to Arsenal 2 seasons ago, got that all-important goal in a very close and physical match between Arsenal and Ipswich. That goal came in the 23rd minute, with Leandro Trossard getting the assist for Kai Havertz. Now, as I said before, this was physical. It was very close, as we saw that Ipswich were pressing Arsenal very heavily. Arsenal had to be moving the ball quickly, 1-2 passes in and around, and they were able to, beat that press that Ipswich came with, and they still found a way to have more possession than Ipswich. And this is very interesting Ipswich were limited to 3 shots, and 0 of them were on target. Now, Arsenal had 5 shots on target. They had 13 shots. There was 835 touches for Arsenal, 477, almost 2 times more than Ipswich's amount of touches. The same could be said for the passes, as Arsenal had 668 passes to Ipswich's 317. 22 tackles were committed by Arsenal. Ipswich had 18 tackles, 25 clearances by Ipswich, which shows that they had to do a lot of defensive work to ensure that the goal deficit that they would have suffered would not have surpassed one goal. Able to get an equalizer, therefore in Arsenal that chance to leapfrog above Chelsea, my apologies, and find themselves 1 point above them, as I mentioned before. And as they come closer to Liverpool, who is now 6 points ahead of them. Now, we know that Liverpool have a game in hand, as they were not able to face off against their Merseyside rivals, Everton, due to weather situations. Now, let me go back to the chat, and at this time, I will see if you guys have any questions as we will proceed to the news aspects with the aid of X. Let me know what you guys think about the results. Let me know if you guys saw anything that was shocking, more so than the Chelsea result, as we know that the media have been postulating that Chelsea are in the title race. And as Maresca would have said, they are not in the title race, not because it's to alleviate that pressure that would be there on the players to deliver, but more so the fact that they're just not ready in terms of the time that they've had with each other. Now, let me move on to the next item that I have here, which will allow you to see that we will be starting with the news aspect with the aid of X. So let me proceed to go to this. This is somewhat in a alternative manner. I will start with this news report by Fabrizio Romano that states, through the aid of Chelsea Express, quoting Fabrizio Romano, that Chelsea will pay £25 million to Manchester United for Sancho. This is the final fee, which now looks guaranteed. Chelsea believe he's worth way more than this and are very happy with his training and attitude. Now, as I said before, this was the news that came from Fabrizio Romano. Let us proceed to the next story here. Now, the next story that we have here is an Arsenal report. Now, the source for this report is Mirror Football, that states Arsenal have made an agreement in principle to sign Las Palmas star Alberto Molinero. Now, this player I am not acquainted with. However, my belief is that he is an attacker. You could correct me if I'm wrong. But the last time I did some research on this player, it was seen that he is an attacker. You can forgive me if I'm wrong. If he is a defender, forgive me, I'm just a human being. But what I do know is that he is simply a young player, and he is a vital player for Las Palmas, as the report states. Now let's move on to the next item that is here. So this one is also a Arsenal-related report, and it states that Arsenal remain in talks to sign Sporting striker Victor Gyokeres, although RB Leipzig, I beg your pardon, Benjamin Sesko is currently their top target. Now, this was sourced by transfers.com, as we are able to see Victor Gyokeres on the left-hand side, Benjamin Sesko, a player that was heavily linked with a move to Arsenal as well as Manchester United, among other teams. However, he opted to stay at RB Leipzig rather than to leave in the summer. Now, let's proceed to the next item that I have lined up here. Let me know you guys' thoughts on the news that I have shared so far. Let me know what you guys think about the transfer news that have been presented for not only Chelsea but also for Arsenal. Now, this is more on an unfortunate note, as Arsenal starlet, who was vividly missed in their match against Ipswich, is likely to be out. Is likely to be out for several weeks, and we would have seen that he picked up this knock in the previous fixture for Arsenal. Now, this is a report from Time Sports, courtesy of Eurofoot.com. Now, let's move on to the next report here. Let me know what you guys think about Bukayo Saka's injury. I know Garvan for a fact said he was very concerned about where the player. It's very unfortunate. Many rival fans have stated how happy they are that he's injured. I believe that that is something that is unfortunate for the player. It sets him back, and hamstring injuries have the capabilities of hampering the potential of young players and for players that could become excellent players. And he has been very vital for Arsenal's performances, was missed. Now, let's move on to this item here. And this is a Chelsea-related report. Fabrizio Romano states, in quotation of Maresca, Gui and the youngsters to leave on loan. For me, the best thing for Achimpong, Gui, George, and company is to be with us. They can understand every day the way we want to play. They can grow, but if someone wants to go on loan, we'll find a solution. Now, this is an interesting point. And he would have followed this up with some quotations that were shared earlier on Friday, as he stated that if there are players that want to leave, he will not stand in their way, as it is best that you get rid of, well, he didn't use the word get rid of, that's me paraphrasing, but he said it is best that you allow them to leave the club rather than they cause controversy or you have unhappy players or players that want to leave the club at the club. So, let me know what you guys think about such a situation. Now, let's proceed to the next item here. Now, the next item that I have lined up for you guys is a following Chelsea report from the Sun Football, courtesy of Transfer News Live, that Chelsea defender Ben Chilwell is facing 6 months on the sidelines amid no interest from other clubs in the player. Now, Ben Chilwell has seen himself being even further on the back burner, as in the absence of Kukurea, he was not even selected to play. It does show that Ben Chilwell's Chelsea career appears to be coming to an end. Now, the player, who is now 27 years old, would have signed for Chelsea in the 2020-21 season after having injury issues at Leicester City as well. Now, Ben Chilwell would have been amongst the squad that would have won the Champions League. He's also a player that would have won the Super Cup, the Club World Cup as well. Now, Ben Chilwell is a player that has not been reported as being complaining. He's smiling whenever there's any media releases of him in training and all of that. And he has not stirred up any controversy or drama in the locker room. So it shows that his character remains solid and respectful despite the situation that he finds himself in. Now, let's move on to the following item here, and it is another Chelsea related item. Now, we will digress away from Chelsea because this is Premier League news and it's a weekly roundup. So, I will ensure that we divert and we don't focus on Chelsea only. However, these news is interesting as relates to the Premier League and the situation that Chelsea are in as well. Now, the Sassy is considering leaving in January to get back into top form. This was a report that was rubbished by following reporters, but I wanted to share it as it is something that fans may want to see happen. Chelsea fans may want to see the Sassy leave as they believe that he is surplus to requirements and that he's not an option that really helps the club. Whether that is true, the manager hasn't stated any such thing. But the report goes on to say that among the interesting clubs are Bayer Leverkusen, who could lose Jonathan Tall this winter and are therefore working on a potential replacement. And they have come to inquire in order to sound out the Frenchman's entourage. And that was from Sacha Tavoleri. Now, let me know what you guys think about these news so far. As I mentioned before, Bukayo Saka will be out for some weeks as he picked up a hamstring injury as well. Now, let's proceed to the next item here, which is something that is very interesting. Manchester United find themselves being hit by a mice infestation at Old Trafford. Now, there were droppings discovered on a recent visit by inspectors, and the club were slapped with a 2-star rating, way short of the maximum 5. Now, the source of this is Mike Keegan _DM on X, and you see a graphical image here that I am sure not many people would like to see, so I will ensure that I put this photo instead up for the sake of viewer discretion. Now, this is a story that is somewhat unfortunate as it follows reports that there has been leaking issues at Manchester United and that there's been roof issues as well. But the fact that there's an infestation of mice shows that there are many things going wrong at the Old Trafford-based team. Manchester United, the Manchester team, find themselves in a situation filled with a lot of unfortunate reports. Now, we'll proceed to another item as I try to go through the following items and get your thoughts as well subsequently. Now, the next report that I would like to share is in relation to Manchester City. Now, this was prior to their Boxing Day fixture, and the report by Fabrizio Romano states that Kyle Walker, Jack Grealish, Ederson, Matheus Nunes, John Stones are not even on the bench for Manchester City. Now, City starting 11 at that time was Ortega, Lewis, Akanji, Ake, Garvidal, Kovacic, Bernardo, Savino, Foden, Doku, and Haaland. Now, there were some players that were left out of the squad. I tried to see if I could get a follow-up as to why that was. I was unsuccessful. However, it may be possible if you do research to find out such information. I do believe that Kyle Walker was excluded due to poor performance, but that is speculation, and we do not work with speculation in our news sharing. So let's move on to the next item here as we proceed to come to the concluding end of the news sharing for this show. Now, this report states in relation to Manchester United and Liverpool, Milos Kerkez is more likely to join Manchester United than Liverpool, as the fullback has personal connections to United via family, and this is a driving factor. Now, the source of this is a Liverpool-based source, which is Anfield sector. Now, let me see if there's any response to the question that would have been asked. Now, Rosie is in the chat sharing the links of some personnel. She has shared the link to Chelsea Sessions, which is a channel that I own. I appreciate that, Rosie, but also remember that you guys, if you're new and you somehow stumbled upon this channel, that you drop a like and you subscribe to the channel as well. Now, GFC Garvan is aiming to get closer and closer and to build a community as we all aim to grow together. But let me know what you guys think about the most recent report that I have shared with you on Milos Kerkez. And let me know what you guys think about the situation. Or minus Kerkez, I should say. I perhaps butchered the first name. But Manchester United is deemed as the more likely option for the fullback to join rather than Liverpool, who have been trying to do some behind the scenes work to get the fullback in as stated in reports. Now, let's proceed to the next item here, and it is relation to former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. Now, according to Mail Sport, Jurgen Klopp was first approached by Red Bull more than 2 years ago and conducted secret meetings during his Liverpool reign. Now, this is an interesting thing, and it does show that Jurgen Klopp's tenure at Liverpool was planned, and that the approach was something that was happening behind the scenes prior to the final season, where he said he was getting tired, that he was becoming exhausted, which makes sense, especially when you are the head coach or manager of a team for merely a decade or almost a decade. So it is understandable as the fact that he could have had burnout, and he opted to leave the club at the end of the 2023-24 season as well. And his successor has been performing tremendously, and it has been a smooth transition from Jurgen Klopp to Arne Slot. So Liverpool fans and Liverpool owners and stakeholders must be happy with the current form of their club. So we'll move on to the next item that we have lined up as we proceed closer and closer to the top of the news ladder. So the next report is a report in relation to Chelsea and Strasbourg, their sister club, and it states that Chelsea want to sign Dario Ezugo on loan at Las Palmas from Sporting. The plan is to loan him to Strasbourg next season and bring Andre Santos back the other way. Now, Andre Santos is a player that has been captaining Strasbourg. He has been the captain there for them. He has been scoring goals for them. He has been doing well for them in terms of midfield options, and Chelsea value what he's been doing. And it has also been argued by Chelsea fans that they would like to see the Brazilian come back this season in January. However, we will see what happens and how this story develops, as Dario Exogo is most likely going to be available only in the summer, as he's currently on loan at Las Palmas from Sporting. Now, let's proceed to the next item here as we get closer to the very top. Now, as I mentioned before, Maresca stated that Madueke was dropped due to a technical decision and not an injury. Now, this is something that is interesting. It brings to mention the fact that Madueke has been suspected and has been accused of having attitude issues as well. And it begs the question, what was meant by technical decision? Was it that he wasn't training well? Was it that his attitude was a problem? It has not been confirmed fully, but it begs the question why Madueke was dropped once more and why he has not played from the start or even played against Ipswich, against Fulham, I beg your pardon, and if he will be available to play against Ipswich in the coming days for Chelsea. Now, let's move on to the next item that I have lined up here, and it is in relation to the former Manchester United player who had two spells at the club, one which ended sorely, as the prior one would have been somewhat better than the last. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo is back in Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Let me bring up the quotations from Sky Sports Premier League. And the first image states that I knew that it will be tough and they will continue the storm. but the storm will finish and the sun will rise. That's very poetic from Cristiano Ronaldo. And as I said before, he's backing Ruben Amorim at Manchester United as he believes that things could get better. Now, it also states that he did a fantastic job in Portugal with my club, which is Sporting. We all know that Ronaldo signed for Manchester United the first time from Sporting Lisbon or Sporting CP, whichever one you would like to use. And the Premier League is a different beast, according to Cristiano Ronaldo, and the most competitive league in the world. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo backs Ruben Amorim, his fellow countryman, Portuguese, and he believes that it is just a matter of time before the Portuguese will be able to turn Manchester United's form around, as he also stated that it is not just the manager, there's something beyond the scope of the field. He did not go into detail, but he did hint at the fact that it could be something off the pitch more so than the players or the manager. Now, it's a continuation of the talk on Manchester United, as Fabrizio Romano states this unfortunate stats for Manchester United fans, as they have suffered 4 defeats in the last 5 Premier League games for Manchester, and that has been the case. There's been 5 Premier League games defeats, 4 to 5 defeats in the last 5 Premier League games for Manchester United, who currently sit 14th in the Premier League table. And it was a great work and a second consecutive win for Vitória Pereira's Wolves, who obviously, well, people will say that it's manager bounce, but it's a good result to follow up their good result that they had in their previous fixture, as well as their current manager has a positive start to life at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, we'll proceed to the next item. Let me do another check in order to do the housekeeping responsibility. Let me see if there's any follow-up to that. Now, Jerry C saying it's a spicy discussion. I'd like to thank you guys for watching so far, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the show and the weekly roundup as we go through some items related to not only the top 8 teams, but also the teams around the Premier League as well. Now, let's proceed to the next item that has some connection to Chelsea, but it also brings into the conversation teams like Anderlecht, Levine, and Sunderland into the picture, as it is understood that Harvey Vale is attracting interest from these teams, Anderlecht, Levine, and Sunderland. And Alfie Gilchrist also has suitors for January, but the expectation is that he will remain at Sheffield United on loan until the summer of 2025. So we proceed to the next item as we get closer to the top of the news ladder and as we come to the closing end of this stream as well. Now, this is an interesting stat for Liverpool and for Liverpool fans as well. Now, Mohamed Salah made it 100 Premier League goals at Anfield by scoring against Leicester. Now, this is a positive stat for Liverpool and Liverpool fans, as we've seen that Mo Salah has been more than a vital player for them as they push to win the second Premier League trophy in the space of 4 years. It may go up to 5 years, as obviously if they win it, it will be 2025 more rather than 2024. So obviously the last time they would have won it would have been in the 2019-20 season. So this is a positive stat, and it shows that, as Mo Salah, who is now in his 30s, continues to show his expertise. He's the expert in the Premier League and has been one of their key players so far this season, as well as Cody Gakpo in some instances, Alex McAllister, Szoboszlai, who would have been suspended as well in this fixture against Leicester City. Now, we get to the top of the news ladder as we conclude with this report by Ben Jacobs as he states that Liverpool moved 7 clear at the top of the Premier League after a 3-1 win over Leicester. Now, Leicester also have a game in hand. Not Liverpool, I beg your pardon, also have a game in hand. And it was an important win after Chelsea lost and Manchester City drew. However, with Arsenal getting a result, it means that they are 6 points clear. They're 6 points clear of Arsenal as Arsenal try to keep their title hopes alive. Now, that is the end of the news ladder that we have for the Premier League weekly roundup. I hope you guys would have enjoyed the weekly roundup for the Premier League. This was the match week or match day 18 of the 38 matches in total. Now, there was goals that obviously shocked teams. There was a lot of shockers in the match day 18, game week 18 as well. For some teams, Chelsea being one of them, Manchester City being held to a draw by Everton in a 1-1, draw is another fixture as well. Manchester United losing 3-0 to Wolves is another result that doesn't help them. Southampton losing 1-0 is also a fixture that doesn't help them, as they are in a relegation scrap and see themselves sitting pretty at the bottom of the table. Thank you once more for watching, and I hope you guys would have enjoyed the Premier League news roundup, and I hope that you guys continue to support GFC Garvan. This is Tyrone, and I would like of Chelsea Sessions and also of the GFC Garvan community. I would like to thank you guys for watching once more, and I would like to also thank Garvan for giving me that trust and for giving me the opportunity to host this weekly roundup show for him. Thank you to Jersey, Rosie, who would have commented, and thank you for those persons who will be watching after as well. Thank you guys, and you'll see GFC Garvan making more content in the near future. Thank you guys, and stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your weekend. This has been Premier League Weekly Roundup. Thank you.
From my bad place, oh yeah, tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays all it is to be see-through. I always said this is that I'm staying around people. Finding my own path like I'm writing my own sequel. Two-faced people all around, they be equal. 2021, you can never trust nobody. Good and bad thoughts on my mind, they be crowded. Pushing get past his limits, then he bought it. Family work hard, but I never guess I'm from it. Came a long way in my dream, now I be drawn it. Stay dying, I got some hearts pounded. Multi-talented, my passion, I haven't found it. Yeah, in my home, I was never ever doubted. I'm here from my bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he